Don't use a single Facebook ads campaign. It's pretty stupid. Let's get straight into it. So firstly, I've got this Miro board and I wanted to talk about a few things. In a previous video, I said I was doing it. I actually found that it was doing well for a bit and it hasn't been doing well. I've been doing more research and I thought I would try, well, look, Andromeda AI, like a lot of AI, let's be honest, it's more a lot of hype marketing, right? AI is fantastic, but there's still a lot of manual workarounds you always need to do when it comes to these types of things. And no matter how good machine learning is, there's always an element of control that's needed, right? As marketers, we need to have control. And I've said that in previous videos, and I leaned a bit more to the Andromeda side. I got used to with Google Ads, truthfully, where you do run pretty much just like one campaign and just asset groups, easy as hell. But with Facebook, you do want more control because it's a lot more up and down. No matter what you sort of see online, especially I see on X of people doing all these insane results and everything. The sad reality is for most people, that's not the case, right? So my point is that I've just got this simple flow that I've made. Nothing amazing. You make a cold one campaign. Now you got a few ways of doing it. I still want to run essentially one CBO or Advantage Plus campaign, and I'll just make more ad sets, right? Until the ad sets are exhausted, where you can have up to 50, I'll make a new campaign because all I do is I just increase the budget of the campaign based on the amount of ad sets that are on there. So if there's 3 and I'm spending $50, okay, that means that on average I'm spending $15 per ad set, $17 or whatever. If I add another one, I'll add another $20 budget, right? So if you have, you just run a simple calculation so that then Facebook has the opportunity to be able to spend, right? So if you're running multiple ad sets, you can run multiple campaigns, but I've found very little difference between the actual campaign. It's more the ad set. So basically what you want to do is you do ad set 1, 2, 3, broad targeting to start off with. Um, And what you do is you just run flexible ads. You still run flexible ads. I love flexible ads. I think they're awesome. So you can run 5 headlines, 5 primary text, 5 descriptions, 1 call to action, and you use the AI related features except the background remover and music. It's absolutely terrible. Do not use those. And you want to do broad targeting, which is 3 duplicates of just literally no targeting except for the country. And if you're going to lock down a little bit about the age and gender, right? But I actually find, like that again, even with age and gender, you just leave it open. Facebook will just target, like, for instance, one of my team members went to a market for one of the ecom brands and markets are really good for feedback. And in the market found that the product is a nail brand, and found that it was like 90% of the buyers were women, but there was quite a number of men that were taking pictures and talking to their partners about buying it, right? And actually had a male purchase, right? And the reason is that like men aren't buying it naturally for themselves; they're buying it for their partners, right? So, but my point is, Facebook will still target those people to some extent, and it will open up ideas, right? And believe you me, what happens is while you can't fully track this, people will come to your brand that are girlfriends and all of that, and they'll come in through Google and stuff as well, which I have videos on that anyway. But my point is that leave your gender open. I used to also think that you should lock down on gender, but especially for certain brands, a lot of men buy for their partners, and they'll talk to their partners about, hey, is this good? And then the partner will go and buy it a lot of the time, and they usually go through Google because people don't search through Facebook. You search through ChatGPT and Google, right? So you leave that open and leave the ages open. Facebook will spend like 90% of the budget to where it knows. So where you want to use the AI is more for the targeting and stuff, and it does a really good job there. The part that I really made the mistake of is one ad set, right? Instead of one ad set, you run multiple ad sets, right? And just increase your, I mean, I call it CBO, right? Advantage plus CBO, whatever campaign, budget respectively to ensure that all ad sets are spending. Now, if there are ones that aren't spending that you want to target that just for some reason Facebook's not allowing you to spend, duplicate it then into a new campaign and let it do it that way, right? You do find that at times that it doesn't get it perfect. So you're always having to run workarounds. Every ad account is always slightly different. There's no one said strategy. This is just a strategy that I've been finding that's been working a bit better for me. And I plan to keep using it for all my ad accounts. I make these so I can provide it to my media buyers. So basically they do a lot of the work for you because I do a lot of the research, do a number of testing, and then I pass it on. So make sure you copy this Miro board. It's just in the description. Use it as you see fit. But I like to be fully transparent about it. I make plenty of mistakes. So with the flexible ads, you find the winning creative and make a new flexible ad in that ad set, right? So make more flexible ad sets. You can do your breakdown and see what's working, make another flexible ad. You use a lot of these AI UGC tools, or if you're using UGC creators, I use UGC creators as well. I use both. And you use that same script and get both. So you shouldn't just rely on AI UGC. People will see through it over time. While it's extremely good, I'm just a firm believer that you should not 100% rely on it. I don't care what anyone says, and that you should run real UGC as well. You can get heaps of creators using platforms like X. Like I posted on X like 2 days ago, asking for paid creators. Boom, I'm getting to them every single day. Right, that's how you can get UGC really, really easy. Give them the script, and if you are finding, because what you want to do is if you're finding a creative that's working well, the one thing you really want to do is you want to use the same fundamental script, give them the video, and then basically be like, yeah, do it your own sort of way, right? Like, here's the, do it 90% sort of the same, but your own 10% flavor. The reason is that then that's a unique creative that's overall following a proven method, which is marketers, we want to keep that control, don't we, right? So that's basically how you run flexible ads. And you should still run carousel and image ads. Image ads and carousel are working quite well because they sit on a lot of placements that are a lot of unsaturated, that a lot of video ads can't sit as well. Okay, so make sure you're running that as well, but mainly flexible ads when it comes to UGC, right? So I've had other videos where you basically do like 80, I think it's 85% UGC, AI UGC and UGC. The last 15% is carousel ads and image ads. You should always add them in, right? If you look at tools like foreplay.io, which allows you to look at the ad library, I've got a subscription to it. I'm not an affiliate, but or the ad library, you'll see all the big brands that are scaling, doing lots of different ads. No one knows the full fucking answer, right? No one knows the full answer. The whole point is we're just always testing and learning. So I like to test all of them. Now, as well as that, I always recommend partnership ads too, as you build UGC creators as well. Network on Instagram. I literally have a short on it in my channel. It's actually a popular one for me. That's someone that's actually a dead YouTuber. Anyway, is that you can literally just get their creative, and you see how you see a lot of brands on Facebook where it's like Ricky Hayes with blah blah blah. That's what a partnership has, right? And those work really well because you're using their authority to actually help you get more conversion. So make sure you're doing that. That's something that I'm going to be pushing a lot more for also my SaaS brands as well. And then, as I said, like, you remix it, and then you use a number of tools. You can use tools like Ideogram to make the AI avatars. 11 Labs I always love. You should always have an 11 Labs. The subscription is like $20 a month. Absolutely amazing tool, genuinely amazing. For AI UGC Actor, I still manually bring it together, right? So I see so many of these tools, even mine, right? Like Smarter UGC, right? Is that they're not perfect, right? These platforms are just using the back end tokens of like Sora 2, Nano Banana, the latest whatever comes out, they're onto, because it's all about hype marketing. But the sad reality is that it doesn't do everything yet as much as in a couple of years, it probably will, right? I still think it's amazing and it does like 90%, but you should still use something like CapCut or a graphic designer. I use my creative editor. They do that for them, bringing it all together to really polish it, right? Because if you want to make good creatives, right, you still have to spend a little bit of time, and that's why using UGC creatives, like they can cost $400-500 per one, but then you get a really high quality, unique creative as well that they can promote, and you can use for ads and stuff too. And I also recommend using them for images, especially depending on your brand. Like let's say your supplements, like one of mine, activewear, before and after images, right, work extremely well, right? So try and get them to do before and after and use that in ads. Boom, away you go. Yes, you can use AI images for that. But honestly, there will be nothing that'll ever fully replicate that. You should always use UGC creators. And as you scale, you should be doing that anyway, but that's for another video that I plan to release. So as I said, create winning ad, create them remix. So remix, for those who aren't familiar, basically you're just using the same copy, same script, and you're using a different actor. So that's why these AI UGC tools are so amazing, because you can use different actors, but the same script, and boom, away you go. Launch the creative, boom, away you go. So the theory of it is fantastic as a marketer, and that's why it's never been a better time to be a marketer. But the reality is you should try new scripts as well. So you use the same script, different actor, and then try different scripts as well with different actors. You're always testing, right? And that's why it's so important, right? So you just sort of go in this circle. And I don't think that I did this properly. Pardon me, I didn't do this right. I was meant to put that what you do is um, with the winning ads as well, what you want to do is you put them into new interest targeting ads. Now, use the Facebook interest targeting GPT to help you. Okay, so for all of these, just I forgot to update that. My apologies. For winning ones as well. So basically, what you want to do here is you can just use the ChatGPT tool. Like there's a number out there. You can use the Facebook interest targeting one and put in a few prompts, and it'll help you find interest for you. Yes, you can do it in Facebook as well, but just doing a little bit of research, like top 10 magazines, top 10 famous people. You think of like Kim Kardashian, right? Skims, right? I'm literally running a shapewear brand. I'm going to target Kim Kardashian, right? So my point is, you just do the same there as well, and it just gives you that so that you can have a good idea and leave it as broad. Right, the exact same here. All the other settings will be still broad, and you just keep running new interest ad sets, right? With the duplicated, the winning ad in there, as simple as that. Now, a few notes I wanted to add that I think are important here to add. I use Triple Whale, right? Now there's a number out there. There's WeTracked, there's Triple Whale. I'm planning to build one because there's a lot of money in them and I want to make a piece of that pie too. To get started to help you with conversion tracking, right? It used to actually be straight paid to start off with, and I'm not affiliated with them. But now they have a free plan where you can basically start out free and it helps you. So it takes like 10 minutes to get set up to help you integrate it and everything as well. A few other key things that I want to add is you scale by 20 to 30% increase week on week. I still don't change that, right? Like I don't, even during when results are really good, I've just found that scaling, like doubling your budget, just I don't know, it just doesn't work, right? I don't know how these other people that are doing like 100K on an X say that they're able to do it like in 20 days. My experience has always been it just you get an ad account suspension, your profitability drops to zero. So I don't know what they're doing that I'm not, but truthfully, like that's sort of how I do it. And honestly, it allows me to sleep better at night. I might not scale the fastest, but I scale profitably. I've got a brand that's doing over 80K this month, and I've just spent just shy of 8K in the last 30 days. So, a 10X, right? And, you know, it, I think that's pretty damn good and a lot less stress. So I focus on doing it slow and steady for profits. If there's ad account suspensions or if there's blocks or there's policy issues, you do encounter that, especially as you scale. Um, to avoid this, to handle it incrementally. Like today, I'm handling for one of my brands, Google Merchant Center misrepresentation policy, and their support is useless. But my point is, just doing these things slow and steady does have a benefit. Don't focus on social media too much to sort of see what's going on there. Also, I recommend using, as I said, AI models, but they require a lot of prompting. So I'm actually currently building an N8N flow now that I've started to build a lot more of this. I'm looking at using N8N for about 4 or 6 of the steps. That if it can save me 50% of the time of those 4 or 6 steps, that's a huge amount of time that can save to then pass to my creative director to make more creatives faster, right? So that's sort of the goal. And if you can have a creative director as well, it looks ad sees what's winning and does all of that for you, then boom, you just keep making more and more ads on autopilot, right? So I just use CapCut, right? Like I'm literally recording using CapCut. There's a number of tools out there, but that's just the one that I use. CapCut, Camtasia, Photoshop, all of those. When it comes to retargeting is really easy. You just make custom audiences starting at VC 30 days. You can do minus purchase, of course, as well. I'm just putting VC 30 days minus 30-day purchase. And you put the same winning ad here as a starting point, flexible ad with a 10% discount code, right? And you might want to run different ones as well. Carousel works extremely well for here as well, I should add. And DPA ads, dynamic product ads, right? People undervalue how important dynamic product ads are, especially in fashion and that. They work extremely well. So make sure you're doing that. Always keep your budget to about 20%. So if you're spending $100, $20 on top would be for your remarketing. So $120. And if it's doing really well, your frequency isn't through the roof, usually like no higher than a 7, and you're doing profitably well there, then start making more granular ones, right? That's the easy way to determine if you can start making granular ones. If you're spending $100 a day, for example, you won't go past VC 30 days. You won't get to all of this. You won't even probably start doing this really until you're probably hitting $1,000 a day, right? Because it's too specific for the amount of data that you have at that stage in time, right? And you just keep repeating that process, right? So it's all about the retargeting is all about building your funnel incrementally. There's no point in doing a post a pardon me, a repeat purchase campaign for purchase when you have like 10 purchases, right? So you just do it incrementally and you just build out one retargeting campaign for VC, one for ATC. That's sort of how I do it. You can combine it all because you don't make a million campaigns when it comes to retargeting because it's just retargeting it. Most 90% of your effort is always up here and the 10% up here. But funnily enough, 90% of your effort's up here, but 90% of the reward is usually comes from retargeting, right? So my point is that I sort of focus on incrementally improving and optimizing the campaign based on your data. Okay. As I'm building more and more brands, I'll be documenting more and more as I learn exactly what sort of revenue states and purchases view content and stuff that you usually get where you're like, okay, 1,000, you needed this to do this, custom audience retargeting and stuff as well. So again, use AI UGC discount code, simple discount code. I don't go above 10% because I really want to, on my website, I want to try and get them as a lead as well, where I can then offer them more discount, but not heavily, right? As you build a brand as well, I always strongly recommend not pushing too heavily on discounts because it hurts your LTV, especially now that we're dropshipping and building D2C brands, that LTV is the most important stat to be able to survive in such a saturated market that we're now seeing. Plenty of opportunity, but incredibly saturated. So I just sort of want to make this video. I hope this has sort of been clear. If you do have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comments section. If you did enjoy today's video, please support the channel, like, share, subscribe. If you are interested in any of the tools, check down the description down below. I am actually starting to look at taking on some students. I've now got some free time and I want to get back into it. If you are interested in reaching out, send me a message on Instagram or X. I'm very much posting regularly on X and going to be building X. So be sure to follow me on X as well. I really want to build out my X to give out as much value as possible. Otherwise, thank you so much for your time today. Have a lovely day. Take care and goodbye.